From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night with the most important number of the week release. And what was it? It was the CPI print for the month of July. And it came in very high. We'll be looking at what that number was in tonight's recording. After a week with that earnings recession continue to grow, what do we have tonight? We have the CPI print for July that impacts the raise of your benefits. And that's not just 1 month. It's a lifetime of benefits. Meantime, tomorrow, the unemployment numbers will be coming in, and will they be higher? 260,000 is my prediction for that number tomorrow, as the payroll number last week showed us the lowest unemployment across the board. But the big, of course, story tonight is that CPI print. It shows you where inflation is, and it also shows you whether your wages are holding up, whether it costs more money to live. And that is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, about $100,000. We're going to go over how to get these checks and why viewers are cleaning up 80, 100 forced stimulus checks. They're not getting $100 or $200. They're getting tens of thousands of dollars. How do you do it? You go under this video and become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. Join this channel in the big second half. We're going to go over all those incredible checks for you across the board. But of course, the major story tonight that we're dealing with started earlier today. That breaking news report is a special report that, if you remember, you got that alert as soon as announced, the CPI print for the month of July. It's not just one number, it's all the numbers in there. The rent, the food, the energy bills like the electricity. Are they higher month to month? Are they higher year to date? And what does it say for you in this economy? Are we in a recession? Are we not in a recession? That's in the big second half. What does it say for the Federal Reserve of those interest rate spikes? And also, what does it say for your forced stimulus check and your benefits lift? Great news tonight across the board. The data is generally really good data. The analysis has to follow thereafter. We'll have it all for you over this broadcast. Become a member, stay the big second half, and it's a big night. It was the night you wanted to see with the latest details on your benefit raises, the housing market, the unemployment, your forced stimulus. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, it's a big night. The breaking news starts right here, right now, as Evenings LA gets underway. And good evening, everybody. It's a big night with your benefit lifts going up. As Lynn Glenn asked earlier today, I hope my benefits go up. You don't have to hope, Lynn. You don't have to hope any viewer, because your benefits are going up an enormous amount. The question is how much? And in tonight's recording, we go over how much your benefits are going up with that CPI print released today. Of course, it's a big week. Tomorrow, Thursday morning, live on air on mornings, I'll have that unemployment number. What do you think it's going to be? I think it's going to be 260,000. That is the latest details across the board. The housing market continues to crumble left and right. Well, the latest details on that. But as that unemployment continues to surge, what do we know on the other front? We know that that CPI print was critical today for the raise of benefits. We'll analyze all that. And we start, of course, with that major news story today. That is that CPI print. Let's go over what a CPI is. Let's go over how it impacts your money. And we start right now. A CPI, Consumer Price Index, is one of the many different elements or benchmarks we use to determine inflation. It's called the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. There's a lot of benchmarks you can use, but this has been the most popular. Americans understand it, the CPI. The Federal Reserve has said it's their preferred benchmark. There are other benchmarks for inflation. We will have this week the Producer Price Index that gauges wholesale products, and then we'll have the retail sales, and in between the CPI, we'll have the core inflationary gauge across the board. But tonight, that CPI is the lead story. This number is a lead story. Why? Because when it comes to your benefits, this is the number that determines your benefits. None of the other ones, only this one, and a core part of it called the CPI-W. So let's go over what the CPI has done for you this summer and why today was the broadcast. I've been teasing it for over a month, the August 10th broadcast of this channel for the CPI. What's at issue? If you're on benefits, your benefits are determined for their benefit lift based upon today's number of the CPI, the next month's number released in September. It's the August number. And then the September number released in October. 3 months of data, July, October, I just butchered that. July, August, and September released 1 month thereafter. We needed to see if this number was about where the prior month was, because if it is, you're going to have the biggest lift of a generation. Remember, once your benefits go up, they never go down. So let's start by understanding definitely your benefits are going up. Definitely your benefits are going up. The question is how much? And it goes back to the inflation. So what we're going to do in this recording tonight is going to be a little bit different. We're first going to go over what happened with this inflation. We're going to go diving into the details because the details are very important for you. Does it cost more to live? If it costs more to live, then you need to get that forcible check. You're going to see the importance of the forcible check in this recording. We're going to go over the CPI and all its inherent details that came out today. Then we'll go over how much your benefits are going to go up, how they go up. We're going to go over the analysis from a major organization that looks at how much your benefits go up. Then we're going to go over the forced stimulus check and how to get it. In the big second half, we're going to go over your benefit lift versus your Medicare benefits, because it's a major question for viewers. And then we're going to go over recession versus not recession. And providing extra time, we'll go over the other parts of the money for you to know tonight. All right, let's start with that CPI. To understand why it's such a critical number, you need to go back to the month of May. The CPI has been surging since the month of May. May was the number that shocked the markets. May was the number that everyone said, wait a second, we have a major issue tonight. And let's look and see what happened with that May number when it was released. It was a jaw dropper. That CPI surged out of control in the month of May, and that started here with this graphic. Let's look at this graphic starting right now. The month of May was an 8.6% print, and what happened thereafter? It surged to a 9.1 in the month of June. So with that release of that June number, we knew we had a major problem across the board, but we also knew your benefits are going up a lot. We also knew we had to see July, August, and September. What we hoped was that the number for June would manifest itself in the month of July. So where was the number today on that CPI for the month of July? It was 8.5%. So the headline number, the marquee number, the top line number was 8.5. A little bit less than the month of June, a little bit less than the month of May, but not that much difference, really. Now, when you look at the parts of the CPI number released today, you actually see inflation went higher, didn't go lower. Let's look at those numbers. On a monthly basis, prices were relatively flat when energy declined broadly and gasoline was down, but here's what happens. Food prices went up. Ooh, there you go. So while gasoline went down, we knew that going into tonight's recording, gasoline fell 7.7%. That's monthly. Food prices went up 1.1% in the same month, and shelter, which is rent, went up 0.5% in 1 month. So there's an offset. Basically, one went down, another one went up. It still costs you about the same inflationary pressure to live. Gasoline went down, but the rent went up, and also going up was the food. So inflation has not peaked. That's great news for your benefits. What does inflation mean, peak? We want to see if inflation has come off of its highs and is starting to come down dramatically. And in a second, I'll show you what the Federal Reserve needs for dramatically to come down. It's not these little shaves of numbers, just a little half a percentage point. Wall Street was looking for an 8.7% print for that CPI today, and so 8.6 was weaker, but it's not that much dramatically different. When you look at the core CPI, which is the bread and butter of the Consumer Price Index for inflation released today, it rose 5.9% annually. So what was the monthly? Was it higher than the month of June? It was. It was higher than the month of June, 0.3%. So when you exclude food and energy, the CPI actually went higher since the month of June into the month of July. Wow. Now let's look and see what specifically was the big culprit. And you'll learn a lot. I learned stuff today as well. I featured it on afternoons. Let's look at the culprit. The food index is now up 11% year to date. That's the highest rise for food since 1979. And don't get hungry because I got some food for you. I got some food for you. Butter is up 26.4% in 1 year. I can't believe it's not butter. Eggs are up 38% in 1 year. My goodness, so is my cholesterol. And coffee is up more than 20%. They did not conclude bacon, strangely, in this report. Just deliciousness, no. I have to have my coffee. Can't be going up 20% in 1 year. Shelter, take shelter right now because I'm about to deliver you the rent increases. Now, you learn a lot, and if you watch the 3 o'clock afternoon show today, you may have had a laugh with me because when the breaking news broke, I had a special report on this earlier today. I'm like, Shelter, I don't even care about Shelter. That's why I said on air. I look like a fool. I look like a fool. I'm like, Shelter, I'm not going to cover Shelter. Who cares about Shelter? Helter Skelter. Yeah, I'm not going to cover Shelter. I will just skip over it. And then by the afternoon show, I'm like, that's rent. What were you doing, dude? You skipped over rent. How can you skip that? And I miss the core of the issue, which is rent comprises 30% of the CPI. Wow, I learned something today, as you did as well. Did you not know that rent comprises 30% of the CPI? It's very important. And so rent is now up month to date and is now up 5.7% year to date. Incredible. Gasoline is declining 11% in the month of July. We knew that. We knew the price of gasoline has gone down because you're a member of this channel. If you haven't become a member, go right in this video and join this channel right today. The price of gasoline is featured in the membership newsletter delivered to you as a member nightly from me. We knew the gasoline was down 11% in the month of July, but it's still up 44% year to date. Incredible across the board. So a lot of viewers, when that special broadcast aired, special report, when these numbers came in this morning, were in the live chat and said, can you tell me the core of the numbers? That's what you want to know. The core of the numbers, where the biggest increase is, because it may impact you and you may be shocked. Number one, what is the biggest industry up year to date? The highest inflationary culprit year to date. You know this one. That's easy. Gasoline. It's up 44% year to date. What's the second one? I was surprised by this one. 27.7% up year to date. The highest rise was airline fares. Wow. Now, if you are pessimistic, if you are sarcastic, if you are patronizing, if you're lobsterizing, you may say, well, are airfares going to go down next month? No, those airlines never reduce airfares. That's my opinion. You certainly did not like those airlines when they tried to take your stimulus back in 2020 before you. Yeah, I remember those guys. They had already gotten billions of dollars and they came back asking for more money. And Congress said, no, we're not giving you more money. You have too much more money. So do you think the airlines are going to cut the fares next month or this month? I don't think so. So if they love getting an enormous $500 fare to travel 1 hour out of you, do you think they're going to cut it? No. So I don't think that's going to come down. Electricity, 15.2% up year to date. Now, jump in the live chat. Do you think electricity is going to go up or down as we come out of summer and go into fall and winter? It depends on you. Remember, this is the August number. We haven't read yet. We're still waiting to have the August number read. It's this month. And in most states, the energy consumption for air conditioning is higher in August than in July. It's brutally hotter in Los Angeles in August than it is in July. It's very hot today. It's hideously hot. So you may think that the August electricity bill will be hotter than the month of July. I think it will. Food at home up 13% year to date. New vehicles up 10.4%. Food away from home, that's dining, up 7%. Shelter up 5.7%. And beer is only up 4.6%. You can insert your joke right there. I will not say it. You can insert your beer inflationary jokes right there. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The interesting part of this is the wage inflation. Wage inflation. I featured this on the afternoon show. I did not have this for the breaking news report when it aired, and this is really important. Are your wages going up enough to afford this higher price of goods? And even if you're a retiree, this impacts you, because guess what? You live in a community where some people work, and if they can't afford the rent because their wages are not going up, Yeah, you know how bad that's going to be. So this impacts everyone, even if you're not a worker. So workers saw a 0.5% monthly increase in real wages, but they're down year to date 3%. Trouble? Yeah, major trouble of capital T. If you have butter and eggs up this astronomical amount, if you have energy up, or gasoline up 44% year to date, even though it's down for 1 month, and your wages are only are actually down 3% year to date, big trouble. It's a big trouble. And this is before we get to tomorrow's number with those unemployment claims, 260,000 across the board. So here is what you need to know when you look at this issue. How much your benefits are going up? Let's go over the calculation at issue. First, you understand that your benefits are tied to inflation. If you don't, and you're new to this channel, let's go over what the viewers have learned from me over the last few months. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA. COLA determines how much your benefits go up year to date. Now, COLA is determined by three numbers: the CPI-W for the month of July, the CPI-W for the month of August, and the CPI-W for the month of September. Today, we got the CPI. We knew this was the critical day. We've been talking about this on this channel for a long time. August 10th, August 10th, August 10th, the CPI for the month of July. So what do you generally see in the CPI? It's flat. It's generally flat. That's great news for you, because that means your benefits are going up astronomically. I've told you we had to see the CPI today relatively flat or higher. We don't want to see it dropping dramatically. And I told you before today's broadcast, if it's down, 0.2%, 0.3%, an 8.4, an 8.2, an 8.1, I'm not worried. That's not much of a change. If it's 7% or 6% or 5%, then we say, oh, we have trouble with a capital T, because your benefits may not go up as much. They'll still go up, not as much. The fact that we're still in the eights, the high 8% on the headline number, and which is not the CPI-W, which is a subsection, is great news for your benefits. So let's go over how this works, and then we'll go over the data, and then we'll go over the analysis, which is slightly different than the data. The benefits raises are really at issue today, and have been at issue since we saw that May print surge out of control. Let's look and see what's happening. This is you if you're on SSA, SSI, SSDI, VA, or RB. How much and which months? It's the month of July, released in today's breaking news video you're watching right now. Your benefits are going up. They're definitely going to go up. How much? Approximately 5,000. I'll give you that calculation in a second. And it's automatic, and it's across the board. But it's 3 months of data we needed to see. Today is the first month. This is the broadcast you wanted to see. Today was the first day of data. The next day will be August, released in September, and September released in October. All right, now let's go over what you need to know about the calculation. Again, this is data. It's not analysis, it's calculation. First, automatic? Yes, automatic stimulus for you. So however you receive your benefits, this is how you're going to get it. If you receive them by direct deposit, that's how you get it. If you receive it by mail, that's how you get it. Do you have to do anything? No, don't have to do anything. Who? You. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, and everything that we assume is actually true. So if you are about to go on benefits, you're not a beneficiary now, but you're about to go on benefits, you would get this. If you have multiple benefits, it's all your benefits, exactly what you would think. Next, everyone 5,000? No, some of you will be more than 5,000, depends on how much you make right now. This is annualized. Some of you less than 5,000, some of you around the money. The same percentage? Absolutely. So now let's go over the analysis. That's all data. It's indisputable. Let's go over the analysis. The analysis comes from individual groups, the Social Security's chief actuary, and of course myself. First, back in the month of May, the Social Security's chief actuary, Steve Goss, when looking at that May number, remember what it was? I think it was 8.7 or 8.6. He said that your benefits are going to go up about, I think he said about 8%. I can go back in my notes. And this group called, it's very well regarded, the Senior Citizens League, at that point said, well, if the CPI for May was 8.6, and that stays where it is into July, August, September, we're seeing your benefits about 9%. So they had it tracking higher than what the CPI is. Well, they spoke today. And they said, based upon the CPI released today, which was, of course, 8.5%, they say that if it stays the same for those 2 more months, your benefits are going to go up 10.1%. 10.1%. So let's say that again. The CPI today was 8.5%, and based upon that, they think your benefits are going to go up 10.1%. So it's not a it's not a apple to apple. It's not CPI 8.5 does not mean your benefits go up 8.5. They believe it's 10.1. Now, I don't have any comments yet from Steve Goss, chief actuary. I'll look for them. Maybe I'll have them tomorrow on air. He's likely been a little bit lower than them. He often is. But we'll see what his guidance is on that number. Now, remember, we need to see 2 more months. They gave us guidance, the Senior Citizen League. They said if inflation pulls back, they don't tell us how much, but inflation pulls back, then your benefit raises would be 9.3%. Now let's go over the specifics of this so make sure you understand it. Once your benefits go up with this lift, they never go down. So let's say it's 10.1%. Your benefits would go up 10.1% lifetime. They can also go up the year after that and the year after that, but they will never go back down to these benefit levels you're right now. Whatever your check is right now, you're never going to see it again because it's going to go up 8%, 9%, 10%. And that is a lifetime. It can go up higher than that, but it'll never go down lower. Incredible, great news across the board. Here's my analysis, and you can do the analysis as well. I think you're really good with this. You're really good with this analysis. Do you believe that the numbers that make up the CPI are going to go down in August, this month, and September? You can answer this in your back of your mind. Do you believe the airlines are going to cut their prices over the next 2 months? You know, you saw my laugh right there. Do you think the airlines are going to cut their prices? Yeah, I think you answered the question. Do you think the landlord's going to cut his prices? Yeah, I think they love getting these enormous prices. I don't think they're going to cut them. I don't think they're going to cut them. Then we go to energy, the electric bill, when you go into the fall months, or the electric bill in August, where it's very hot. You know, some of you have really hotter temperatures in September than you have in August. Do you think those are going to pull back? So I think you can, in the back of your mind, think, I can do this analysis. LALATE has taught me. I have a feeling I can formulate an opinion about what I think is going to be that CPI print for August. I'm living it right now and I have an opinion about it. And now I see what makes up the CPI. I have a sense of what's going on. And I think you certainly understand. CPI is not going to be 4% in August. CPI is not going to be 6% in August. CPI is not going to be 5% in the month of August. It's going to be 7 or 8 or may go back up to 9, but it's not going to come down a lot. Now, September is the big question mark. And as viewers have always said, do I have to wait out the 3 months? Well, you're living August right now, and it's the middle of the month. So we have a really good sense about August. Remember, we'll have data throughout the month of August. We'll have the housing that gives you an indication of inflation. We'll have the personal consumption expenditure index in a few days. So we'll have data in between, but you got a sense of what prices are out there. I think you get a sense of how this works as well. And with that, you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. I mean, why would you not? The cost to live has gone up. The rent has gone up. And your wages have not gone up. Your benefits have not gone up yet based upon these rises. So you have to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. And let's go over those forced stimulus checks starting right now. Have you become a member yet in this video? Are you an existing member? Have you upgraded your membership? Make sure you become a member because that's the people who are cleaning up on these checks. You've been cleaning up for a while. I'm going to go over broadly those checks starting right now. Go into this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Parrot Casino VIP. There's a button on the video that says join this channel right now. Let's go over what these checks are and what they look like and what you need to know about these incredible checks at issue. These forced stimulus checks are in every U.S. state, and they were passed in the month of March by the President of the United States by executive action. I've been covering them since the night they were announced by the President. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000, let's go get it. Married couple, $150,000, let's go get it. If you're on benefits, if you're not on benefits, if you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, ahead on your bills, not ahead on your bills, go get them. In the second half of this recording, you're going to see the big success stories. And right in just 1 second, I'll show you people who are getting 80 to 100 checks, 12 checks, 14 checks, not a couple $100. This is the biggest payout we've ever seen in the history of the channel. Viewers are winning. Why? Because I had a dual focus for you. I wanted big checks, and we got them, about $100,000. And I wanted broad eligibility. I wanted every U.S. state. And the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks for you across the board. One of the great benefits of being a member, of course, is that membership newsletter. And down in that membership newsletter, around the third line, is the worksheets. A couple of viewers were in the live chat today, and they said, "LA, where is the worksheets?" In the membership newsletter. In the membership newsletter, down around the third line, it says, "Click here to see the worksheets." It's a very simple word. What are the worksheets? These are the worksheets. The worksheets are a PDF. You can print them from your phone or print them from your computer. If you don't have a printer, you can download them. It's about 8 pages in length, and we have a lot to go over with these worksheets tonight. These worksheets are making a big difference with viewers getting upwards of 80 to 100 checks. Page 1, inflation. What do we learn today? All that. No need to repeat it again. All that is what we learned about inflation. It has not peaked. It's relatively flat. Some core parts have gone up. And that's great news for your benefits, because if it stays where it is, oh boy, it looks really good. I'll go over that benefit lift in a second. Recession, the big second half, we're going to go over Camp 1 versus Camp 2. Camp 1, the equity traders, the stock traders, the portfolio managers believe there is no recession. It's never been here, and that good times are rolling. They're by themselves. Because in Camp 2 is me, the oil traders, and the bond traders, and generally the Federal Reserve, and they're saying, no, we have a lot of interest rate spikes to do. We're going to do those interest rate spikes for potentially a long time. And those interest rate spikes are going to send you into recession. I'll analyze that in the second half. Labor. Two different, very conflicting numbers on labor. We'll discuss this tomorrow when you see the latest in our labor numbers. 260,000 new jobless claims last Thursday. Most unemployment claims of 2022. Now, the day after that, last Friday, the unemployment rate in the United States fell to the lowest level since 1969. Conflicting, yes. I analyzed it last week. I'll analyze it again tomorrow. But the Federal Reserve, next on the worksheet, page 1, what are they going to do? 75 basis point. Federal Reserve is going to do 75 basis point. Let me go over what's at issue. When we were middle week last week, I said the Federal Reserve is going to do 75 basis point increase for those interest rates at the next meeting they have in September. They don't mean the month of August. And at the time, Wall Street polled executives and only 30% agreed with me. 70% disagreed. They said it's going to be 50 basis point, and that's the final interest rate spike. Now 100% agree with me. Why? Because the Federal Reserve has said they're going to do 75 basis point, and they're going to stay with it. The Federal Reserve makes very clear they're tracking now, even more clear than ever before. And they can do it because the unemployment rate is so low. The next page of the worksheet is the one that is the big winner. And that big second page is a table to keep track of every check you apply for, because you're going to be applying for a lot of checks as a member, not just one checks, lots of checks. And that second page is this one. It's a table for you to keep track of your check A's, your check B's, your check C's that you apply for. One viewer this last week, it got 12 months of utilities. Congratulations. Another viewer got 14 months of rent. Wow, that's tens of thousands. That's thousands of dollars. Spelly got check A, which is for the weatherizing grant, and he got check C's, lots of them. And then the big success story, not a unique story, it happens all the time on this channel. One viewer got 80 to 100 checks. She's in Florida. She had filled out the worksheets, but she got that she had filled it out. And then she got that email from the state of Florida. Ma'am, you've been approved for check B. Great news. Gets better. Approved for her mortgage. Check. Wow. Gets even better than that. She got approved for 18 months of her mortgage. My goodness. That's not $1,000. That's tens of thousands of dollars. It gets better than that. She got approved for all her utilities. Oh my goodness. So she has 4 utilities per month plus the mortgage. That's 5 checks per month. 5 checks per month for 18 months. That is 80 to 100 checks. That's the magic of the Purple Power community. That's the magic of this community. Become a member. Go right in this video, become a member right today. It's happening all the time. All right, we had talked about this on afternoons. I said I was going to cover it on evenings. It is the next page, fifth stimulus. Big day to use this page. Why? Because of that organization. The Seniors League, based upon today's data, their prediction, it's just analysis, it's not law, it's not fact, it's not data, it's prediction, says your benefits could go up 10.1%. So put that on the table. Current monthly payment, write down how much you're currently being paid, then possible raise. So if it's 10.1%, put it in there. It's just a possibility. It's just a possibility, so you know it. You would write in 1.10, and then you would just take your benefits. So how do you do that with a calculator? A lot of people always ask me this. So if, let's say, you get $1,000 a month, you would say 1,000 on the calculator times 1.10. And that would show you your new benefits. So instead of $1,000, it'd be 1,100. Pretty simple. 1,000 times 1.10. Just put it in there, and that would show your possible future monthly benefits. Now you can play around with the number. You should to practice it out. Let's say it goes up 9%. So you would times it times 1.09%, and that would be $1,090 more per month if I did that correctly. Gasoline. Gasoline is tracking lower because the oil traders believe that recession is upon us and the gasoline prices should go lower. International price of Brent crude is up a little bit today. I think it's like 95, 96. It was 94 yesterday. Student loan debt forgiveness. The president is likely to do that at any moment. $10,000 for individuals who make $150,000 or less. He's already forgiven student loan debts for individuals who went to work in the nonprofit or public sector after graduation, people who became disabled after graduation, or people who were defrauded by the university. Want to know more about the debts already done by executive action for Joseph Biden? Go to the Department of Education's website. Pull up the news releases from the last few months, read about them from Miguel Cardona, and he will detail those all for you. In the big second half, we're going to go over all these incredible checks, those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state. You need to get them. One of the things very clear from this CPI print is that price of items are not gone down, and you need to get these big sums of money. And those big sums of money are coming into viewers all the time. You deserve these sums of money. And we're going to look at viewers who have done this, and you can do it as well. Plus, we'll be looking at the debate about the recession versus not the recession. And then we'll go over the issue of your benefit raises, which we know is definitely now happening, but also whether it impacts or doesn't impact your medical expenses like Medicare. All the latest details of what you need to know in the big second half. You know it's a big broadcast. You know it's a big channel. It's LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, with the number 1 most watched show in prime time for financial news. You need to become a member. Go right in this video, become a member. And in the big second half, we're going to go over all this big details. See you back in 60 seconds as Evenings LALATE continues.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a big second half. For this August 10th, 2022 recording, you knew was the day in which the CPI print for the month of July is released. You've been watching in record numbers today, and you know what tomorrow is. The unemployment numbers. Do make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'll have it live on air on mornings at 9 a.m. 260,000, we'll see what happens. Will it come in at that massive print that we're expecting? Well, the latest details on that. In the big second half, we're going to go over whether your benefits are impacted the same way as your Medicare. I'll have the latest details on that. It's a big show. And of course, what we have coming up in the second half is recession versus not recession, what you need to know. It's Evenings LALATE. It's LA Live. Recession, your inflation, your benefit raises, your housing market, your unemployment, and of course, your 4 stimulus. The breaking news continues right now as Evenings LALATE gets underway for the big second half. How are you? I hope you're staying good. It's brutally hot here in Southern California, Santa Monica today, so hopefully you're staying cool. With those incredible force stimulus checks, let's jump right into them right now. Back in the month of March, viewers said, LA, can you find me some force stimulus checks? And I did. This is what I've been doing for a long time. I found people checks when there was no stimulus. I found people checks when there was stimulus and got them big sums of money. And I got them these checks in the month of March, the same day they were announced by the President of the United States by executive action. I had two focuses. One, I wanted broad checks, big amounts of checks. Because in February this year, I was the only financial broadcaster to report that, in my opinion, we're going into recession. There wasn't even a bank announcing at that time. And I found them, about $100,000 of checks, several different checks. I give it a lettering system starting with the letter A. Second, I wanted broad eligibility. I want you to make sure you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you're not on benefits, if you are on benefits, if you're young, if you're old, if you're behind on bills, if you're not on behind on bills, if you have children, if you don't have children, go get them. Third, delivered in an easy, simple way for you to get them in something called the membership newsletter, delivered to you Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll go over that membership newsletter in just a second. And with that, let's go over these incredible checks one at a time and what you need to know about these big checks and how they work. These incredible checks have been gotten by the viewers of this channel for a long time, since the month of March, and tonight is your success story happening as well. I have full faith in you. Let's look at these incredible checks one at a time, starting right now. These checks start with the letter of A, and we're going to look at it with A right now. $6,500, $12,000 force stimulus check in every USA. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it. How do you get it? Step one, go into this video, subscribe. Step two, go into the video, become a member. Join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Go down the membership newsletter delivered to you via the member alert Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do you see check A? Click the link, it sends you into the nationwide website. Then choose the weatherizing grant and go get it. So simple, but you're not done there yet. You can go get check B. Remember, check A is the check that Spelly got. Check B is the check that viewer in Florida got, 80 of these checks. It's $15,000 to $80,000, but many viewers are getting a lot more. And some are getting over $150,000. These incredible checks are just big. It's a force stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it. How do you get it? You know the routine. Step one, subscribe. You're watching LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. You want to be part of this family. Number 2, go into this video, but join the channel. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Welcome to the hundreds of new members daily. Welcome to the members returning. Many members have been here for nearly 18 months. You want to be a member and stay a member. You can't just sort of show up and leave because there's too much going on and there's too many checks to continually get. I'm going to show you that in just a second. And welcome to all the members who've upgraded as well. When you go down the membership newsletter to find check B, click the link. It sends you into the nationwide website. Then choose your state and go get that incredible check. You're going to go get check C. Check C is for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. That's the checks that one viewer got 12 of and the other viewer got 14 of them. Go down the membership newsletter. It tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it, and get those incredible checks right today. The success stories of Check C date back for a long time on this channel because this is the residue of third stimulus. In fact, some of this was around before third stimulus. That's how long I've been getting these monies for viewers. And let's look at some of the success stories right now. Those success stories include rent. Look at this. From Nisi all the way up to Elizabeth, $30,000 for rent. You want that? Go get Check C. You want these for utilities, then go become a member and go get these numbers for utilities. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $15,000. He's getting $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. You want a combination of checks like rent and 2 utilities or rent and 4 utilities, then go get those combinations. Nisi went from $23,000 to $50,000. Mark went from $32,000 to $166,000. Here's Mark. He went to 50, then he went to 100, then he got check B, 166. Here's Lorraine. She went from 105 to 150. What's the common motif between Lorraine, Johnny, Margaret, Nisi, and all that success stories? One, they're in all the live chats. When that breaking news report was delivered, it was a special time slot, just a special breaking news report about the CPI print. I put it out and people jumped in it. Then I had it on replay in the live show. Boy, that live show that went live a little bit later in the time slot that noontime usually is, had a surge of people just jump in there. I was shocked. The They were members. They knew that CPI was coming out. They wanted to see it live. They jumped in there. That's what you do. You got to know where this economy is because it's a very confused economy. There's a lot of wrong analysis out there. I haven't been wrong about anything yet. Number 3, they keep on getting checks. You want to do that. You want to get a check and continue to get a check. You want to get the rent for 3 months. You want to get the utilities for 3 months. You got a lot of places to get monies from. And here's a message. I think I'll just do it one more time today. I think I did it on the afternoon show. It doesn't happen that often, but I saw 2 comments in 24 hours where viewers did their version of what I'm recording. Don't do that. Don't do a paraphrase version of what I'm recording. The viewer watched the channel and then went did something totally different. Totally different. Check A, you apply online. Check B, you apply online. She called up and asked for check A. What? You don't do that. She went around and started asking the states, "You got checks for me?" This is federal stimulus. That's why I run the graphic with the president and the executive order. Don't do a version of what I say. Do it very specific to what exactly I say. That's why there's a newsletter. So you go through it and you watch and you read it. The greatest thing about a streaming platform like LALATE is you can replay the videos. You're under the video. If I spoke too fast or you want to hear it again, you can take the button and under the video and pull it back and replay that section. And if you missed it, you can watch the video the next day. I'll cover that subject matter about the checks so that you understand it across the board. And you can do this. I have full faith in you across the board. Now, let me jump into a confusing subject. It's confusing for me. He's confused? He's never confused. Yeah, I'm confused on this one. There is a very few subjects that I'm not confused on, but this one I am confused on. And what is that subject matter? It is your benefit raises versus your health benefits. Because I'm not a health guru, and I'm clearly too young to be on Medicare, and I don't understand all the elements of Medicare. But I read a little bit, and so I'm up to date on the easy stuff. I'm very blind. I'm up to date on the easy stuff. Let me go over the easy stuff. First, the fact that your benefits are going to go up, guaranteed, and we're just seeing how much, does that mean it's going to be taken all by your health benefits? No, 100% incorrect. 100% incorrect. First, here's the issue is, number 1, your benefits go up, and that will not be eaten out by all your health benefits. Number 2, a lot of people have different health benefit plans. So please do not write in the live chat, "I don't want, however many more thousands a year for benefit raises. I'm on SSI. I don't want it because it's going to be eaten out all by healthcare benefits." It's untrue. Don't write it. It's fake facts and could get you in trouble with this channel. Don't write fake facts in the live chat. Number 2, will your medical benefits go up if your benefits check goes up? In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. So please don't vote that either. Why is it some yes and some no? Because you all have different medical benefits. Some of you are Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B, Medicare Part D. What I was able to see in reading it is everyone's benefits are impacted differently across the board. No one's going to have all this benefits, all this great news wiped away of bad news. It's not going to happen. But will some of it be eaten away a little bit? Maybe some with you, maybe nothing with other people. So don't write it, because why? If someone else reads it, they don't know what benefits you are on. They don't know what medical plan you're on, and they'll read and think, "That's me." Don't write it. So when it comes to medical, don't write in the live chat. Just please, I know I'm not going to cover it again after today. Don't write in the live chat because other people will see and think that's them. And finally, this makes it even more confusing. That strange bill that's in Congress, that's not a law yet, is trying to reduce prescription medication. So if those are reduced, then the impact on your benefits is even different across the board. Yeah. Now, let's go to something much more simplistic. A recession. Yeah, oh God, recession. Yeah, here we go. Camp A, Camp B. Let me go over what's going on with Camp A, or Camp B, or Camp 1 and Camp 2. The first camp believes there is no recession and will not be land. And the second camp believes there will be a recession and very pronounced. Who's in Camp 1? They're generally portfolio analysts, stock traders, the stock brokerage firms. Do I have a pessimistic view about them or a sarcastic view about them? Yeah. I think they want you to buy their stocks. I think they want you to buy stocks. Yes, stocks are up. Yes, a lot of stocks are up a lot since the month of June. A lot of stocks are down since the month of June. So I think they want that activity. But let me tell you what they're saying. They saw last Friday's non-farm payroll number, where the unemployment number fell to the lowest number since 1969. That, of course, is the headline unemployment number. We all agree upon that. And that data is indisputable. But they took that data and they ran with their analysis, which is, well, this economy is really good because the unemployment's so low. Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. There's other parts of the economy just besides unemployment. Moreover, what else did they say? They said we're not in a recession because the labor's so strong. Okay, that is ridiculous analysis. That's wrong analysis. It's black and white wrong analysis. Why? Because in a recession, the labor market falls apart later in the recession. The labor market never falls apart at the start of a recession. It falls apart later in the recession. You know why? As the businesses fall apart and crumble and are big problems, they cut costs. They don't crumble on day one of the recession. They fall apart progressively. And they have to figure out how to cut costs. They cut costs and say, you go, you go, you go. Okay, we're going to start to lay off. We're going to close our doors. We're going to shut locations. It's a progressive unwinding. It doesn't happen on day one. So that's ridiculous analysis. All right. So that's camp one. If you're camp one, good. It's good. I want you to have an opinion. I want you to take the data and do your own analysis. You don't have to agree with my analysis, but I want you to know the data. That's what I do. I'm data specific, and then you can run with the analysis. Let's go to camp two. Camp two is the bond traders, the oil traders, me, and some regards the Federal Reserve. What is the data we look at? We look at that unemployment number. That is the lowest since 1969. We also look at the dual mandate of the Federal Reserve, which is maximum employment, which is the lowest unemployment. They got it. They're winning. They got that done, the Federal Reserve. And number two, controlling inflation. Have they controlled it? No, of course not. What is controlled inflation? 2% inflation. We're at 8, or the CPI at 2%. We're in the eights, high eights. So they have a long way to go. How many months have they been doing this? A while. You know, it's August. How many months have I been covering this with the Federal Reserve? They've been doing this a while. Have they really moved it? No, they've not moved it at all. So what do? They raise interest rates. And how many more months? Well, for you to think it's going to be one more month, it's ridiculous. What is the other data? The Federal Reserve has specifically told you with its governors, Bullard out of St. Louis, Daley out of San Francisco, and also the governor, and also the third, which I'm going to get to in a second, have all said, we need to get inflation down. It's not down. For anyone who says we're not going to have any more interest rate spikes, camp one, that's not true. We will do another one, and we will continue to do it until inflation goes down. So that is data. These are people who say what they're going to do, and then they do it. You don't take their comments and change it the other way. And let's go over specifically the comment that came in last Saturday. And this is big data. It comes in from Fed Governor Michelle Bowman. She's very specific what she wants for purposes of her data. She says, watch these words because they're very specific. She says, my view is that similarly sized increases, which is rate increases, interest rate increases, 75 basis point was the last one. So she means just like last month or July, 75 basis point should be on the table. Okay, so she wants to stay at 75 basis point until when? Here's the remainder of the part of the sentence. Until we see inflation declining. So she wants it going down in a consistent, so as to consistently go down, meaningful. Okay, pause. Meaningful. That means a significant down number. It's ridiculous to say, 8.7 to 8.4 to 8.1 to 7.9. That's not meaningful. That's not moving the compass. She's not happy with that. She's talking about 2 or 3%, not, down from 8.7 to 8.5. That ain't gonna cut it. And in a lasting way, she finishes the sentence. So she needs it down to 2, 3, or 4%, and it needs to stay down there for a while. You think she's anywhere near it? No. So she's a significant risk of high inflation into next year. Oh boy. Including necessities for food, housing, that's the shelter, 30% for shelter, fuel, yeah, and vehicles. There's a threat to the strong labor market is excessive inflation, which will allow to continue, could further cause economic softening, which will result in a risk of prolonged period of economic weakness, coupled with high inflation like we experienced in the 1970s. So she basically says you don't get this underway, you get a recession. Who also agrees with her? I do. The bond traders, what data do they have? The bond traders are trading bonds based upon what their predictions are. And their bond indicator is the inversion curve. Is the inversion curve worse since last Friday's data? Yes. The inversion curve worse today? Yes. There's a 2 and 10-year notes are the inversion curve. If you have a longer interest rate, if you have a longer bond, it should pay higher than the shorter bond. You put money in the bank. The 10-year CD in the bank pays higher than the 2-year CD. Obviously, yes, but not with an inversion curve. Suddenly the 2-year, the shorter term note, pays higher. It's not supposed to be that way. That is why it is indicative of recession. When the inversion curve is happening, you're indicative of recession. And the inversion curve got worse after last Friday's data. Finally, oil traders. The oil traders are trading down like the price of gasoline. Why? Because they believe we're in a recession. With a recession, you won't drive your car as much is the concept that demand will be less. My analysis is the following. First, labor market falls apart later in recession. That's easy. Number two, the fact that the labor market is so good. Remember, the Federal Reserve uses the unemployment rate. They don't use the jobless claims. They use the unemployment rate. It's the lowest number since 1969. Well, the Federal Reserve has half of their dual mandate completed. They have maximum employment. That's a great number. None of these people were Fed governors in 1969. They've achieved that accomplishment. So that means they can go do their second item more, which is interest rate spikes. And that means they can be very aggressive in interest rate spikes. And they can do them for a while. They've not worked. They've not worked with 75 basis points. Businesses cannot afford these interest rate spikes in September, October, November. Next year, Bowman's saying it will continue next year. I think it's going to continue next year. The business cannot afford it because businesses have debt. What are they going to do? They lay people off. People go on unemployment. And then you have prolonged inflation plus a recession. It's called stagflation. It's really bad. So that is why the bond traders, and we had the quote yesterday, the bond traders saying, hey, you can have a very prolonged period of a worse recession than we initially thought. And that, my friends, are the two camps. Which camp are you in? Camp 1, Camp 2. Right on the live chat, I don't care which one it is. You got to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You got to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You and I know that it's better to be cautious. It's always better to be cautious. If we don't have a recession, great. If I had this all wrong, great. You got extra money in the bank. But if we do have a recession and all those people are spending money like it's going out of style, they're raising up their credit card debt, which I've told viewers not to do on this channel. You're not doing it. The credit card debt in the U.S. economy is the highest of a generation. That's not good if those interest rates continue to grow. And this financial cliff, we haven't talked about in a few days. It's just 30 days away. Get as much stimulus as you can. Raise your savings. Remove your adjustable rate debt at home, like credit card debt, car loans. Get rid of that. Confidence will fall apart. Spending will go down. Income will go down as well. That is why you got to stay with this channel. I was the first to say a recession was going to come in February this year. I was the first last year, in spring of last year, 2021, to say that inflation was going to track at 8% and stay there. Tonight, it's August 10th. Look how accurate I was. In spring of last year, I said it was going to be a sustained level of inflation. We have the producer price index, we have the retail sales, we have the personal consumption expenditure index. We have a lot of data to look at. It's great news for your benefits. But it's not good on the ability to live. That's why you have to become a member. Join this channel and stay with me throughout the night. Evenings are light every night at 5 o'clock. Evenings countdown at 6, stream cinemas at 7, 8 o'clock is extra, 9 o'clock is sunset. Become a member. Welcome to the new members, welcome to the returning members, and welcome to the upgraded members. From the shores of Santa Monica, California, thank you for tuning in today and throughout the day. It shows you want to know where your money is. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful night. And from my home to your home, please stay safe. Please get every sum of money you can get. And stay with LALATE for more.